Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.
Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels and short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be joined by Marcus Rader, CEO and co-founder of Hostaway. Marcus, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely excellent. How are you?
I'm very well, my friend. More importantly, I'll say this. We were just trying to down tools and get ready for Christmas, and you've come in late in the year, hot news, hot take we had to do based off of this. You've raised $365 million on a $925 million valuation. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much. It was an early Christmas gift for our staff. They worked really hard, and we wanted to make sure that others in the industry also know that we're not going to let our success just slide under the radar. And we wanted to make this announcement now.
Well, congrats. It's really exciting. We were desperate to get you in before Christmas to do a hot take on this. It's got the industry talking, obviously. Last year, Marcus, you raised a really impressive $170 million. Can you tell us why you've chosen to raise additional capital now?
Right now, the industry is booming. It's the right time. But at the same time, we are going to be facing massive changes in the industry due to AI. And also, I expect travel trends to evolve quite differently in the future. And that means that you need a big war chest to be ready for everything that's coming.
Yeah, interesting. I've heard the reference of this war chest. We'll dig into that a little bit more later. It's a good way of thinking about it. In this new funding round, it's been led by General Atlantic with participation from your existing investor, PSG. Why did you decide General Atlantic was a good partner for you right now?
So the interest from investors and sophistication of the investors was mind-blowing to us. We were really, really surprised. But I think when choosing a partner, and that's really what we were looking for here primarily, a partner that can help us grow, someone who knows the industry inside out. And well, what better fit could you have than one of the early investors in Airbnb? Also, we got along on a personal level. That's very important because we're going to be working with these people for years to come, and it's really important to know the personal chemistry there is right. I mean, we organized our first customer conference, Hostaway in Miami, a few months ago, or even just 1 month ago, and they showed up and then realized that probably what it takes to become a partner with Airbnb is that you print out, you take the General Atlantic logo, but then use the Iron Maiden font for it, and then print a custom t-shirt and give it to me. And that's exactly what they did. I'm wearing it right now. And that's not the only aspect, but that's certainly, at least got my attention that these guys are serious.
I like it. I like it a lot. I must say, as someone that was at Hostaway, that was a lot of fun. So thank you again for organizing that. That was a fun couple of days, wasn't it?
Thank you for coming. It'll be really big next year.
Yeah, looking forward to it again. In the press release, you've referenced that one of the reasons for doing the raise is to propel your growth strategy. Including through international expansion, more product development, and AI initiatives. Can you tell us more about this, and especially sort of international expansion?
Absolutely. So we're quite unique in the space because this is a very local market, and we're basically focusing on primarily three markets: Australia, New Zealand, and Europe as a whole, and North America. Those are the main markets. largely due to the fact that there's a lot of international travel and local travel, but also the language and the value of the properties and the nightly rates are fairly high or similar across those markets. Now, we're uniquely positioned in this industry in that we, as far as I know, we're the only company in the space that was co-founded on both sides of the Atlantic. So my co-founder Saber, he was in Finland, and I was in Canada when we started the company 9 years ago. As a result of that, pre-COVID, we had about 40% of our customers in Europe and 40% in North America, which once again is quite unique if you look at our competition, where very few have managed to even cross the Atlantic. And yeah, we had our first office was in Barcelona. Our first customer was from Portugal, but our market share in Europe is very, very low outside of the UK and Ireland. And Scandinavia, we're actually market leaders there because that's where the company is from. But we believe that if there's anyone who can come and win the three big ones in Europe, France, Spain, and Italy, it's going to be us.
And I can see why you've wanted to have a war chest. I can see why you want to have a war chest to do that. I think that, there's language barrier. It's a challenging market, isn't it? Does the regulatory landscape in Europe worry you?
Not at all. I think it's actually really good to see what's happening. Vacation rentals are here to stay, and a lot of tourism in Europe is also outside the cities, where I think definitely if you got big, vibrant cities where people are living, they need the people there need places to live. It shouldn't be filled with short-term rentals because that doesn't make it a lively city anymore. If you got no locals, then there is no local culture. But outside of that, there's a ton of areas where people like to go for vacation, and also a lot of smaller towns will see an increase in visitors over the coming years, partly due to driven by social media trends. Someone finds something fun. I read about a small fisherman's village in actually the Canary Islands, which is a popular destination, but this specific village has been left untouched, and suddenly they have a huge tourist boom. And we're going to see that continuing. And the thing is, if you got a huge amount of people coming in, it's usually good for the economy. It's good for any local businesses that need their businesses to run. If you operate a restaurant, you want it filled with people. That's really good for local business. Challenge with hotels is that if you decide based on a trend that's happening right now and it's going to last 6 months, you're going to build a hotel for people. That's quite risky considering the application, financing, permits will take you 2 years. And then if you're lucky, you'll build a hotel in another 2-3 years, or maybe 5. So we're looking, 8 years out. And if you remember the memes of 8 years ago, I don't, but neither does anyone else. So building hotels, just pop-up hotels here and there isn't feasible at all. What is feasible, however, is that there's a lot of properties that are underutilized in this world. And those are excellent places for people to stay.
I love the way you've described that, and I totally agree. I totally agree with what you said. I think it's a really interesting time, and there's lots of opportunity in the air for sure in Europe. In FocusWire, you reference how AI is going to change how customers look for short-term rentals. You referenced it a little bit at the start of the interview. So part of what you want to do here is further tap into the direct booking trend. Can you tell us what you've got in mind for this?
Yeah, it's currently, I think, for the industry, it's currently on the whiteboard stage. We don't know what it's going to look, but what I often do when I don't know what's going to happen is I look at other industries, and if we look at, for example, the airline industry, about 15 years ago, everyone was booking tickets either through a physical travel agent, or they were using a search engine for that, and then booking the tickets through there. Now, today, nobody does that anymore. There's no search engines, and actually people book their tickets directly with the airline. Now, how do they find the most accurate comparison? They use Google Travel. Why? Because Google Travel is free. They don't charge anything from the airlines. but they're able to show you, and you can filter exactly the type of flights you want. And as a result of that, um, the airlines have received a lot more direct bookings than before. At the same time, a lot of software tools have helped. For example, big companies organize trips so they don't need to rely on human beings anymore. Employees can go and book their own trips. And that's just one example of a very adjacent industry that has changed dramatically in the last decade alone. And I think the same thing is going to happen in vacation rentals. And Google in the last few years has entered vacation rentals, and they can put your vacation rentals on Google Maps, and it will be there, and it will only work with your direct booking website. And that's to make sure that the accuracy of the data is correct. And this is why, for example, some low cost airlines, you won't find them on Google Flights because they won't be able to provide accurate data to Google. But it's not only Google. There's many other ways in the future, including today. You can use ChatGPT to search on Airbnb, and they do, for some use cases, they do a better job than Airbnb themselves. So I think that these two trends, the direct bookings and the way people search for things, is going to change dramatically in the next few years, and we want to make sure that we're at the top of.
I think it's a really interesting point. I think it's, like I say, it's already started to happen, and I think that's going to accelerate, isn't it, through 2025, assuming the EU's Digital Markets Act doesn't get in the way of Google's growth in that area. I share your belief, though, that's where we're heading. Tell me, it's not been mentioned, or I've not read about it if it has been, but can we expect to see some acquisitions as well?
I certainly hope so. I mean, we got almost 200 partners on our marketplace right now, and we are very interested in doing acquisitions, and where, we can acquire. There's a lot of startups that have really talented people. We can do acquihires. There's also a lot of technology out there that's superior to ours, obviously, since otherwise, the company wouldn't probably exist. And that's also very interesting. And then just acquiring market share in new markets is also on the radar.
We'll watch this space then, Marcus. Tell me, TechCrunch, and I quote, are saying, "This deal shows that travel is back." This I find really, really interesting. What do you think about the health of our industry at the moment? And what's your view?
Overall, the industry is doing really, really well. So we are part of the accommodation sector, which is growing 6% per year in 2024. People spend more on accommodation than any other year in history, and it's expected to keep growing. And that's not a big surprise, because if you look at what people are doing these days, they're spending less and less time in the office and more time, frankly, traveling. So it's no wonder that accommodation is going up. At the same time, we've had some inflation, which has increased prices. There's also climate change, which has made it more expensive to manage properties. For example, insurance rates are going up, or in some areas, properties are destroyed, which means that people need to find other properties, which increases the demand for real estate. Then if we look at the share of short-term rentals, it has in a couple of years gone from 5% to 15% of the total accommodation market. So not only are we looking at a market accommodation that overall is growing, and there's no reason why it wouldn't keep growing, but within that market, the short-term rental space is going to grow even faster. And that's I think is the underlying reason why we were able to raise capital on the good terms and at this timing. Once again, I saw a rejection email for Airbnb. They were trying in 2009. They were trying to raise 100,000 at a valuation of 1 million, and they got an email from an investor saying, "We don't believe the total market is big enough. It's just not worth it for us." And I think that by now Airbnb proved them wrong. I think we're at another inflection point here where the market is going to grow dramatically in the future.
Thanks, Marcus. Tell me, what else can we expect to see from Hostaway next year?
Well, we're going to be working a lot on our product, making it more user friendly, bringing out improving all the existing functionality and also bringing out new functionality. But what makes next year really special is that it's going to be our 10th anniversary. So I told the marketing team that whatever we do, there's going to be both cruises and there's going to be champagne everywhere. So keep doing what you're doing, but add more champagne and add more boat cruises. So that's probably what we're gonna do to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. I don't know what that means in practice, but our marketing team keeps surprising me with the great work they're doing. So I hope they can figure something out based on my vague CEO level instructions.
I love it. I love it. And I guess we'll celebrate your 10-year anniversary at the time, and maybe there'll be something at the next Hostaway to market as well.
Yes, absolutely. This year was just a practice run. Next year we'll do the real Hostaway. It's gonna be great.
Marcus, congratulations on the fundraise. Really great effort, and Merry Christmas, my friend.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and all the listeners.
Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Lodgify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.